Greetings, R. Frederick Riddle here with another Christian News and Views. This is episode 66. And today's news concerns an interview that Vice President J.D. Vance had. And in that, there's this article that I'm going to read to you that we're reporting on that, and then I'll give you my opinion. So there might be some opinion in this because I'm just reading the reporter's take, and so I didn't really spot much in there, but we'll see as we go along. Vice President J.D. Vance outlined how President Donald Trump is executing his economic plans Sunday on CBS after host Margaret Brennan repeatedly questioned when voters will feel inflation ease. During his campaign, Trump vowed to address voters' concerns about the cost of living, as many Americans were worried about the U.S. economy and rising grocery prices before the 2024 November election. On CBS's Face the Nation, Brennan asked Vance which executive order signed by Trump in his first week of office addresses the issue of lowering prices. And now we're going to get Vance's response here. We have done a lot, and there have been a number of executive orders that have caused already jobs to start coming back into our country, which is a core part of lowering prices, Vance responded. More capital investment, more job creation in our economy is one of the things that's going to drive down prices for all consumers, but also raise wages so that people can afford to buy the things that they need. Prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, right? The president has been president for all of 5 days. I think that in those 5 days, he's accomplished more than Joe Biden did in 4 years. It's been an incredible breakneck pace of activity, Vance said. In December, the Federal Reserve announced it would lower its federal funds target range from 4.25% to 4.5% to ease inflation, which remains above the Fed's 2% target. Despite claims from former President Joe Biden and his White House that the U.S. economy fared well under his administration, inflation hit a peak of 9.1% in June of 2022, impacting businesses and consumers, which you and I fit into. We either fit in as a business or a consumer, or quite often, both. Vance continued, noting that the Trump administration will work with Congress, stating there will be more executive orders to address the issue before discussing how energy will affect inflation. The way that you lower prices is that you encourage more capital investment into our country. Yes, specifically, what executive order is going to help lower prices? All of the stuff that we've done on energy to explore more energy reserves, to develop more energy resources in the United States of America, Vance said. One of the main drivers of increased prices under the Biden administration is that we had a massive increase in energy prices. Donald Trump has already taken multiple executive actions that are going to lower energy prices. I do believe that means consumers are going to see lower prices at the pump and at the grocery store. But it's going to take a little bit of time, Vance added. Rome wasn't built in a day. While we've done a whole lot, we can't undo all of the damage of Joe Biden's presidency in 4 days. However, Brennan attempted to push back on the vice president, stating, there are a lot of things that contributed to higher energy prices, to which Vance quickly agreed that Biden did many, many terrible things to lead to an increase in prices. Brennan then questioned again when Americans will get to touch and feel a difference in their lives. Margaret, How does bacon get to the grocery store? It comes on trucks that are fueled by diesel fuel. If the diesel is way too expensive, the bacon is going to become more expensive. How do we grow the bacon? Vance asked. Our farmers need energy to produce it. So if we lower energy prices, we are going to see lower prices for consumers. That is what we're trying to fight for. Immediately after the inauguration on January 20th, the president signed a handful of executive orders, including the unleashing of American energy. According to the order, the goal of the plan is to unleash America's affordable and reliable energy and natural resources, which will restore American prosperity, including for those men and women who have been forgotten by our economy in recent years. Trump also declared a national energy emergency on January 20, stating that the U.S. has the potential to use its unrealized energy resources domestically and to sell to international allies and partners a reliable, diversified, and affordable supply of energy, which could create jobs and economic prosperity. So that's the article, and referring to his appearance on the TV show. But Vance did a fantastic job. But sometimes I think reporters can be so dumb. I understanding they want to get the story out. I can understand that they have an agenda that they want to press. But the common sense, when somebody says something, it makes you look bad as a reporter if you push back at that as though somehow it didn't compute. Vance has a way of putting things in very easily understood terms. And so I don't know why the reporter had a difficulty understanding that, other than an opposition, an agenda. So here's the thing, and I'm still talking about reporters being dumb. Why do I say that? Simple. Who in their right mind would expect that a president, any president, Democrat or Republican or whatever, could make a difference that you can feel in everyday life within the first 4 days of being in office? You can sign executive orders all day, every day for 4 days, and the vast majority of people won't feel the effect of that for days, weeks, maybe even months, as these work their way down through the government and out into the marketplace and finally into our homes. Some will be faster than others. But that's economics. Simple economics that most of us understand. So why didn't the reporter understand? You'll have to ask her. In my opinion, I think it had to do with the agenda, but let's move on. Yes, the president signed executive orders that will help us all out. But the implementation and the impact on our daily lives will take time. Vice President Vance did a great job of explaining Economics 101. So I really don't have a whole lot to add to what he said. It took time for Bidenomics to hurt us. It will take time to undo that mess. However, I can speak for myself. I believe that the confidence level of the average American, which I consider myself an average American, has risen in that short span of time. Now, actually, my confidence started to rise the moment Trump got reelected. It was sort of pushing against the top before the election, but you never know. He was leading in 2020, and all of a sudden everything turned around. And whether you think that was a conspiracy or not, it is a fact that turned around rather quickly, within minutes. And so you kind of, when this last election was taking place, you were kind of wondering, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to take place? Well, so your confidence level was there, but it was on like capped. But as soon as he broke through and won the election, my confidence, anyhow, I don't know about yours, but my confidence went up. And it's still going up now that he is the president. I don't buy the idea that he alone is going to make America great again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The only way America is going to get great again is if America turns back, returns to its spiritual foundations. This country was founded as a Christian country. The liberals, those who are historians, but they're liberal historians and stuff like that, don't know what they are talking about when they say that America was not founded as as a Christian nation. You study it. You look at the founding document, the Declaration of Independence. That's talked about God a lot. You get to the Constitution, and while God is not mentioned in it, the principles are, some of them are right out of the Bible. So yes, we were, and then you look at it in their early days, the Supreme Court decisions. They even declared the United States to be a Christian country. So they just don't know what they're talking about, the modern critics. Or then it's not necessarily ignorance. It's let's just call it willful ignorance. They should know better. So my confidence level is up. I do think that Trump is going to unleash prosperity. He did it the first time. I do believe that he's going to get government out of the way of Christians living their life as the Bible tells us to live it, and being able to run our businesses the way God wants us to run our businesses. Um, yes, there are people out there who are not Christians who will take advantage of other people, and we have laws to protect it. We got enough laws on the books now. If they were enforced the way they're supposed to be, you wouldn't need new laws. But we are constantly adding new laws because we don't enforce the old laws. Now that's an oversimplification, but it's a statement of fact. We have a lot of laws on the books out there, and just to enforce the Ten Commandments. So, what can we expect going forward? Well, we have the executive orders. We'll probably have more. Uh, the, um, the thing is that we have to have the Congress has to get involved here somewhere, and they're going to pass laws and so forth. And then when you get these laws out there, they have to be enacted by the different agencies. That's going to take time, but we are going to start to see these things work their way out and down to us, so that we can operate. Now, some things will be impacted almost immediately because it's declaring something like a right that was taken away under Biden, is being restored by President Trump. That might be felt immediately um, in a sort of a psychological way, giving us the encouragement to move forward. Maybe we have some plans on how to expand our businesses and so forth, and that will freeze us up, and we say, okay, the way is clear now. We can move ahead on it. It can impact decision making, but again, that's at the higher levels of businesses, and then that still has to work out into the marketplace and then into the home. So it does take a little bit of time. Usually, they say first 100 days, and a lot of that is the laying the foundation. But some of it you'll actually experience it, begin to experience it in the grocery store and at the pump, um, and especially if he goes ahead and starts using the natural resources and selling the leases like he did before. They go in and they drill and they find oil or whatever other natural resource we're talking about. Those things will make their way into the public sector as well. And so I think we have a lot to be confident about, a lot to be expecting, but we have to be patient because some of it is just simply going to take time. So that's my take for today. If you like this channel, be sure to subscribe using the icon below. By subscribing, you not only ensure that you have access to both my podcasts, Christian News and Views, which you're watching, and becoming a published author is fun. That is another podcast that I do that I give coaching tips. So you can use if you're a writer or you want to be a writer. I give tips how to get started in business. What the government looks at when if you start writing a book and you get that book, what do they look at? How do they look at you? What you should do, even before you write your first word of a book. Things that you should think about and plan. How to write, how to format, how to get published. All sorts of things that I give out for free. Now, do I give you everything? No, I have a course, and then, which you can then purchase and get into that course, and it will take you much deeper and help you. You'll get my coaching for one thing, my teaching and coaching. I also have a ministry called Ministry Publishing. If you're in the ministry, I don't care if you're singing in the choir, push a broom, whatever you're doing, that's part of what's called a ministry. Whether it's paid, unpaid, no matter what it is, if you are serving in your local church to enhance the church in some way, you're enabling it to carry out its mission, which is to carry out the gospel, to proclaim the gospel, then I'm interested in publishing your book. And I'll give you a little bit of coaching and I'll give you a little bit of teaching, but you don't need a course. You already know how to write. If you don't know how to write, you take the course. If you do know how to write, you simply go to Ministry Publishing, and we will then, you and I, will work towards getting that book of yours, you being transformed into a published author. I do that on becoming a published author is fun. Now, the other thing that happens when you subscribe, you encourage me. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a ball doing this episodes. This particular one is every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then the one becoming a published author is twice a week. And so I get a chance to help you, to influence you, and I'm just enjoying it. So I encourage you to subscribe, and I will do all in my power to create episodes that will inform, encourage, and inspire you to be the best that you can be. You've heard that term before. To be the best that you can be, to be, in the case of publishing, to become a published author. In the case of Christian News and Views, to be able to take the news and apply it. You get my perspective based on my years as a Christian and studying the Bible, but also studying life itself, trying to be informed about what's going on in the world, especially in our country. We have a press that doesn't like to give us those facts anymore. They want their agenda out there. And so I'm a voice out here that's just trying to share with you a more Christian perspective on things. And I hope you're enjoying it and that you can use that view, my views, to help you, or maybe it just affirms your view and shares that you, somebody other than you, believes such and such is true, maybe me. So, however it might help you or encourage you or inform you, I hope you are enjoying this podcast. I will see you in the next podcast, and you have a great day.